Hi, my name is Nera and welcome to my channel Art by Nera here on YouTube. Today I'm gonna be showing to you how I paint my butterflies and how you can do it too. So we'll be using gouache colors and very basic watercolor paper and also transfer paper. So if you don't have transfer paper, it's totally fine. You can just use piece of paper that you smear a lot of graphite on, and then you're gonna draw on the other side. Here we go. Today I prepared one of the blue butterflies that are in the center of my project. I am currently working my way through the Czech blue butterflies because I'm from Czech Republic. So I chose this one. To be honest, I traced the first sketch, I trace it through the picture and then I'm tracing it through the transfer paper onto my page, and I made a mistake of pushing the pencil today too much, but I'm usually trying to go a lot lighter. Yeah, I'm basically gonna trace all the lines, which you can do too. After I do it on one side, I am switching to another side and I'm gonna repeat the same process. This helps me to stay kinda the same, because if I was to make the sketch for each side of the wings by hand, it would turn out very differently, and I'm always, when painting these butterflies, I'm trying to look for symmetry. The same way with my painting, I'm really trying to work simultaneously on both sides of the wings, but sometimes I just get lost so much in the painting that it's not possible, and every time it turns out a little bit differently on both sides. So there's magic in that, but I'm trying to go as accurately as possible with the sketch as I can. Once I finish this, I prepare my gouache paints and I'm starting with the base layer. I'm always going with paint straight from the tube, or maybe mixing two colored tones together. I'm definitely not mixing in any white at this stage. If I want some place to be a little bit lighter, I'm just gonna use a little bit more water. But basically, when putting down this base layer, you can put down the brightest colors. So this is very effective if you want to add a little bit of brightness into your butterfly. I am using a reference picture which will be on the screen, so don't worry about it. And you can see how very different the painting and the reference picture look like. Even though I'm trying to paint the same butterfly, I'm doing a lot of creative choices, and one of them is to keep the colors very vibrant, because this is what I love in my work. So I did this basic layer. I'm gonna let it dry a little bit, because I know it's drying. In the middle, I'll be working on the details on the darkest part of the butterfly, because I know I don't have to tweak anything around. After this, I'm color correcting the base layer and I'm trying to navigate what's where on the butterfly and how exactly to make it look how I wish it to. I'm using a little bit of darker blue to add the depth around the body of the butterfly, because usually there it is darker than anywhere else. And then I'm working on the pattern that's visible through the butterfly wings. So this pattern is not really on this side of the butterfly, it's from the opposite side of the wings, but when you look at the butterfly you can still see it through a little bit. So this is what I'm using the white color for. Again, I'm not trying to be as accurate as I could be or 100% precise, because this is not about, my painting is not about hyper realism. It's about me enjoying the painting process and getting down on the paper the most interesting parts of the butterfly that I find. So I'm painting the white details. I'm also searching on the wings for the places that are the whitest or the brightest, and I'm adding those on, as well as the dark spots that I have. One of my creative choices was not to try to make the spots on the wings to be like a little bit blurred, because when you take a good look at the butterfly you can see that the edges, the color in their wings is on something very similar to scales, so something like pixels in your computer screen, and if you look very closely you can see each and individual pixel, and this is or scale on the butterfly wings. But you could choose to try to mimic the scales with a little bit of blurring the edges or painting a little dots around each color transition, which is something I choose not to do because it's just too much work for me and I really like this clean look about it. So yeah, this is my creative choice not to do it. But I took another creative choice and I like to add the hair on the butterfly because it has a hairy body and the hair goes a little bit up towards the wings also. So that's what I like to do. I like to add those individual hair. Now we're gonna add some final highlights. So this is the only time that I'm mimicking the scales or the pixels on the wings, and this is when I'm doing highlight. I wanted the butterfly to look a little bit more whimsical, to look a little bit more interesting, and these white details are helping me do that. So I'm looking at the reference picture and seeing where the highlights are, and I'm adding them with this dotting technique, which I think is really cute. So tell me in the comments how you like it, if you like it at all. So that butterfly is finished, and I'm gonna show you how I finish this another one because it's a slightly different color scheme and it's a very old sketch. It's actually maybe 2-3 months old sketch, so I'm reworking it a little bit. I did the same steps. I traced the sketch, I did the base layer and some basic layers with and now I'm just adding the details and making it a little bit more blue than it is or than it was. And I'm also darkening the center of the butterfly as well as adding the darkest parts of it. Yeah, it's basically the same process for all of those butterflies that I'm painting. I'm trying to mimic the another side every time, and I'm also adding the hair, and I think I approached the hair on the body a little bit better. I also realized that this butterfly has a striped, what is it, antennas? I don't know how it's called, antennas maybe. So I added those by making dots on the lines, and now I'm doing the white highlights on the wings. Yeah, just watch me dot this butterfly away. Okay, now the final part on each butterfly is to add, at least on the blue ones, is to add nearly white rim or edge on the wings because they have these a little bit white, not feathers of, what is it called, like hair on the end of the wings. So I'm painting almost near white border around each wing for every butterfly, every blue butterfly at least. Yeah, and I'm adding the final details, a little bit more of shading, and it's gonna be done soon. So we talked a little bit about how you can paint a butterfly, and it's basically getting the sketch done and then identifying the color on the reference picture, and also being very well aware of what you want to do with it, because you can paint the exact replica of the reference picture, but it won't show any of your style unless perfect realism is your style, which I'm not a huge fan of. So you need to identify the colors and then add your own spin to it, and then work on the butterfly until you're happy with it. It's like with every single painting that you ever gonna create. I'll be leaving a link in the description for some products that are made with similar butterfly paintings. If you're interested in some of those, you can check them out. If you would like to paint a butterfly like this one, there is also a link in the description with butterfly coloring page or a base sketch for your butterfly if you wanna use that. So it's gonna be a sketch for these two butterflies that you saw in this video, and you can either use it as a base sketch for your own paintings, or you can use it as a coloring page, or whatever you wish to do with it. You can just feel free to do with it. Just do not resell it or something like that. If you would like to see more videos like this and maybe more in-depth talk about how to paint with gouache, you can definitely write me a comment and we can talk about it more. If there's something you're struggling with in this process, definitely hit me up with comment or a direct message over on Instagram. I'll be happy to answer whatever questions you might have. Yeah, I'll finish my rambling and I'll let you have a beautiful day and see you in the next video. Bye!